What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to a little World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor. And today I wanted to talk a little bit more about garrisons and the importance of working and looting your garrison. Let's go ahead and head there now. That is, if this warrior is going to allow me. I should have just stayed and smashed his face in. But anyway, off to the garrison. Now, first off, let me show you my garrison setup and what I have. I've got an herb garden, the Frostwall Mines. I threw in the Enchanter Study, as enchanting is one of my professions. The Gladiator Sanctum, as I'm mainly a PvP-oriented player. The Lumber Mill, got to get them resources. The Scribe's Quarters, which I'm going to talk about later. I strongly suggest everyone take the Scribe's Quarters, even if you're not the Scribe type. And then the War Mill. I also got the Pet Menagerie in place, of course. I leveled it up to 2, so we got all kinds of my little pets cruising around town, as you see right here. But let's go ahead and get on to looting your garrison. Now, of course, you want to put work orders in everywhere you can. In fact, let me go ahead and get these lumber mill work orders started, as I just went farming a little timber. Important to keep the lumber mill going as often as you can, as that's garrison resources, straight up. So let's go ahead and throw these 3 work orders in, and that will get me through the majority of the day today, so that I don't have to, worry about the resources coming in. Let's head on over here to the Gladiator Sanctum. Level 2 on this one. I'm anxious to get it up to level 3. However, I haven't met the achievement yet of collecting the 4,000 bones. However, I do have another work order ready to put in. Good to go there. Important to keep this one going if you are PvP oriented, and you'll get just an absolute ton of the broken bones doing some world PvP. We got my fishing hut back over here. I actually am not working that yet. I need to kick it in gear and get that going. Now, over here at our little herb garden, you see we got some work orders ready to pick up. You see I got some frostweed, Gorgron flytrap, fireweed, and apexis crystals. And I've got some herbs over here I can loot. Now, important to note, when it's in your garrison, you don't have to be an herbalist. I think some people are maybe confused about that. When it's inside of your garrison, you can loot it. So come on over and pick the plants, get the flowers, and that's going to go hand in hand with the Scribe's Quarters, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. Loot them all up, and then I'm going to get some more work orders placed with these Draenic seeds that I'm collecting here. Now, of course, you're going to collect a lot more if you are an herbalist. I am not. No big deal. I can still get a couple of work orders in and get myself some more herbs. Then, of course, that's going to lead us to the mine. You know, mines are always important. It's, it's a source of free resources, essentially. Everyone always needs ore. It's always a huge part of crafting and a huge part of the game. So by all means, get in here and loot it up. Now, I am a miner. I took that as a secondary. However, if I wasn't a miner, I'd still be able to come in here and get these nodes. I had taken blacksmithing and grinded it all the way up to level 600 in hopes of making some fast cash with this expansion, selling some weapons. And then, some of the benefits of being a blacksmith went away. So my blacksmithing went away. So, I can no longer directly use any of this ore. But, I've got some good friends that are jewel crafters. I can hook them up. I can sell the ore. Do whatever needs to be done. You guys get the point. I'm not going to go all the way down in there right now and loot it all up. Let me go ahead and get out of the mine and move right along here. Now, your garrison itself is going to collect resources every day, just naturally. And you have to go and loot those. They're not going to just magically appear in your bank of garrison resources. So let's head back on into the garrison and loot up today's garrison resources that are sitting there waiting for me. I've made some good progress. I've got quite a few level 2s going now. Got my pet menagerie up to level 2, which, you know, for me that was important. 140 garrison resources just for stopping by and looting that box. That's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and move on down here to the Scribe and talk about that. Now, every expansion, really a huge source of revenue, has always been the Dark Moon Fair and the decks. The decks, of course, turn into trinkets, which always sell for a ton, have always been a great source of income. So it's important to get these Scribes' quarters going because, look at that, we can make Dark Moon cards. In fact, I can make 2 or 3 right now. Go ahead and knock those 3 out. Now, of course, when I get a Dark Moon deck, then I'm going to be able to put that bad boy together and sell it on the auction house, which is awesome. Now, to get the materials to do the Scribe work orders, or you notice, you know, I'm not an inscriptionist, and the main reagent needed for the Dark Moon cards is war paints. Now, to get war paints, you're going to have to do some work orders here at your Scribe's quarters. So let's check that out. Let's see, the Scribe's assistant is going to book them up for me. See, we need cerulean pigment. Now, I'm not an inscriptionist, so how am I going to make the cerulean pigment? Well, I can go to the auction house and pay a ridiculous amount of money for them, as people are exploiting the hell out of people. Or,
what do you need?
I can just go ahead and buy myself this Draenic mortar. The mortar is going to allow me to grind up herbs to make the pigments myself. So let's find my herb stack here. I've got lots of stuff to disenchant. We'll talk about that in a minute too. See, there we go. There's some herbs. So I'm going to go ahead and use my mortar. And bam, we've got the pigment we need to get the work orders in place on our Scribe's quarters. I can keep that going. I should have more herbs here somewhere. Where are you, herbs? There's some herbs. Anyway, an abundant supply of pigment just from going and looting your herb garden every day. You know, of course, if you get the work orders in as well, you get even more herbs. And have no problem really keeping the Scribe's quarters just about maxed out on work orders. I think I might be able to max it here just from these herbs I'm looting right now. I'm sure I got some more, but let's go ahead and get these in. So you talk to the assistant. Oh yeah, I don't have enough to max it, as 19 work orders is the cap on this one now, because I did up it. But I can get several days worth of work orders going there.
Be safe.
And get myself lots of war paints. Now, something else important for if you're an enchanter, you're going to need your enchanter study to get your recipes. So that's a no-brainer. If you're not an enchanter and you want to have the ability to disenchant stuff, get yourself the enchanter study. As you come over here to the essence font, this big old pot of goodness. Open that bad boy up, and we're going to just start DEing. How awesome. Get some Draenic dust. Whoop. There's the recipes, of course. DEing all this stuff up. How awesome. Now, a bit of a waste of time for me to use the essence font, as I am an enchanter. But I just wanted to show you guys that you have the ability here to disenchant your own goodies, especially with the blue PvP gear for any of you PvPers. dropping as abundantly as it is, you want to make sure you get that stuff disenchanted, as, you know, if not, it's just kind of a waste. So I want to go ahead and get some more work orders in here as well. I've got quite a few waiting to be processed already. But let's go ahead and get those guys filled up. And there we go. Now, really, the main thing I could suggest for anyone as far as garrisons, whether you're into PvP or PvE, definitely, without question, go with the Scribe's Quarters. Make yourself some money off those Dark Moon decks. And the lumber mill, at least, to get things started. A lot of people are saying go with the inn, as you can maximize your followers, which I picked up a bunch of followers just from questing, and I really need to get an inn up. However, the most important thing to me right now is the garrison resources, and the lumber mill is going to really help me out with that. So that is my garrison to this point. Let's run on over to the workbench and see if there's anything else I can bump up to the next level. I've got quite a few of my my little garrison outposts at level 2 now. Of course, the garrison itself is level 3. But let's see what we can do. Alright, the pet menagerie is at level 2. My enchanter study is at level 2. Lumber mill's at level 2. Storehouse, Scribe's Quarters, my barracks, the war mill's still at level 1. My Gladiator sanctum is level 2, and then my herb garden, fishing shack, and mines are all still at level 1. Now I could probably, you know, I've got the resources, I could go ahead and dump them in play, but I'm really saving up as I really want to be able to get that Gladiator sanctum up. See, I've got sitting on just under 1,200 resources now. I've got 8 missions in progress, so I got most of my guys out running stuff. And that's where I sit at this point. So thanks again for watching. Click that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'm definitely digging the garrison in Warlords of Draenor. So check back often. I'll be doing a lot of garrison updates, talking about the different buildings and the benefits of each one. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.